So yes, we're going to continue the parade of case studies here. And this one in particular, we're going to hit upon a perennial topic and challenge in local that we haven't talked about a great deal yet at this show, which is helping multi-location national brands and businesses execute their localized marketing strategies. And of course, there are so many layers to that. There's advertising, marketing, analytics, attribution, all of that is really starting to kind of consolidate in a lot of ways, or I shouldn't say consolidate, probably it's converging with the kind of tenets of what we talked about yesterday in the local commerce universe, not just about advertising, but all these other multifaceted kind of operational and back-end support and all kinds of cool things. So one company that's really embodying all of those principles is Sim Partners. So we're gonna hear from Jay Hawkinson, case study about what they've done for Shoe Carnival. So please join me in welcoming Jay. Jay, you can come on up.
Great. Thanks, Mike. So a little bit about myself. Jay Hawkinson, I oversee the client success team at Sim Partners. I'm also one of the founders of Sim Partners. We started the company 10 years ago doing SMB, doing local search for SMBs. We all came from the founders all came from a search background and from different agencies. We recognized the need to solve for local search back in 2006. And in 2007, we actually started building a SaaS platform to serve, to automate that process for our clients. And that actually has grown over time to actually what we now refer to as Velocity, our Velocity platform. And what it does is it actually provides a local search strategy at scale, automated for enterprise. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've done for Shoe Carnival. And throughout these years, in building this platform, it was really important as Google's been releasing these numbers about how search and near me searches have increased 34 times in recent years. And then other numbers, I think someone shared this particular stat yesterday, how these make up 88% of mobile searches are near me searches, and this has grown 146% year over year. So extremely important to not only have a local search, a comprehensive local search strategy, but also to make sure that you're focusing on mobile. And I think everyone here knows, if you've been here, been in the space for a while, it seems like every year for the past 5 to 6 years, this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile. And we've actually passed that. We're beyond the year, we're beyond that, and where we're not only needing to be visible in these near me moments, but now we need to be delivering actually contextually relevant information when people are finding your business. So again, it's for us, it has been about being visible in those near me moments. That's really the first step, knowing that people are doing these searches on their mobile devices. And then again, when they're getting there, what are you serving them? What are you giving them? It doesn't matter whether you're a mom and pop store or a huge national retailer, you need to be giving them contextually relevant content. So our approach has always been twofold. One, location data management, and then again, the contextual content. And really finding that sweet spot, knowing that you've got to manage that data. There's a lot of information out there, more information than ever before in terms of that location data. And then in addition to that, what are you actually doing from a content standpoint that's not just good content, but is local content that is relevant for that person that's doing that search. Making the data actionable, and again, the content, making the content contextual. So for Shoe Carnival, we started working with them last July, and they had some basic objectives. One was, we don't know what's going on with our location data. How can we manage it? What do we need to do there? So we really need to really get a fence around that and understand what they were doing. It was living on their website, IT, Excel spreadsheets, getting all that data and making sense out of it for them and actually managing that data. The other part of it is that even though they had this really great website, e-commerce website, they've got 400 locations across the United States, they didn't have location pages to represent all these stores on their actual website. They had a very basic locator. You did a search on their website, you got a listing, but it didn't take you anywhere other than showing you on their website where that location might be at. So they needed a local search presence for all their stores across the United States. And then the last thing is taking these people, bringing them, knowing that they're going to do these searches, these near me searches, and then saying, okay, from a mobile perspective, what else can we do to actually engage with them and to make this visitor a customer? So I'll talk through a few of those points here. So again, going back to the foundational aspect of location data management, what our strategy has always been, and it always starts with location data management, and that is managing it, cleaning it, cleansing the data, making sure the data is accurate, making sure it's structured, has the right categories. It all starts there, and then doing distribution, working with companies like Newstar Localese, Infogroup, and others, distributing that data out to the aggregators, out to the amplifiers, making sure that it's getting in all those places, and then monitoring that data, understanding what the health of that data is. Is it accurate? It's not just to have those listings exist in those places, but is that data accurate? Is there duplicate information out there? Is there incorrect information out there? Just making sure that you're monitoring that ongoing. The next step for us really is for Shoe Carnival was to create these store pages, very robust store pages, one that represented the brand, but we're also doing a lot of things that they knew that their visitors and customers wanted to see. Their loyalty program, offers, store hours, integration with social. So again, building these pages and making sure that these pages were not just optimized for desktop, but also optimized for mobile and tablet, all on the same page. So just making sure that responsive design was in place with those call to actions. After that was creating this locator. They had a basic locator, like I mentioned, but the locator that we created for them provided a variety of different searches because, as we know, everyone searches differently. Some people search by zip code, some people search by the city or town or neighborhood. There's a number of ways that people will search, so through this locator, and you can actually go to shoecarnival.com and use this locator and see the type of searches that you're able to bring up in that locator to find stores throughout the United States. To take a step back to the store page and why it's so critical. Again, you can have, I've seen a lot of store pages for a variety of companies out there, and I think it's really important. One, as I showed before, making sure that it's optimized for mobile and tablet in addition to desktop, but then all the different elements that you're going to include on that page that are going to be extremely important. And again, making sure that starting at the top with really having a clean URL, having those offers, the loyalty program, the map, so people can see it very easily, having content blocks that actually talk about that particular business, that particular location, having localized content to put in those that is unique to that particular location. Integration with social, which I think is really key, because I think if you're understand the retail space, particularly knowing that your customers are going to engage with you in their own way, and it's important to make sure that you are providing that for them. Some people like Facebook, some people like Twitter, some people like Instagram, some people like Pinterest. So being able to bring those elements and integrate those elements into the page to make a very robust page. So let's talk about results. So again, we launched in July of last year, and this is just one piece of their overall traffic, but this is the organic traffic from the location pages. So there's store pages that exist out there. This is the traffic that we saw. So you've got 3 different lines here. You've got desktop, you've got tablet, and you've got mobile. The green line at the top is your mobile traffic. So when you talk about the importance, and I mentioned that at the beginning for a very valid reason, when you talk about mobile and making sure that you're visible in mobile, you can see here just from our location pages the type of traffic that we were seeing since we launched Shoe Carnival's store pages. We launched in July. By the end of July, we were 4% of their overall traffic, and that's what these numbers are. So when you think about their entire organic traffic they're getting from all sources to shoecarnival.com, we were 4%, went to 7%, times 4 by September of last year to 16%. Right now, we're currently running at about 25%. The store pages by themselves are running at, just mobile store pages are running 25% of their overall organic traffic. And again, this is just a small piece of their overall traffic. They do a number of campaigns. They're doing paid search. They're doing display advertising. They're doing email, a lot of different campaigns. But again, this is a subset of that just to show you the power of again, they didn't even have location pages a year ago, and now here's what they're seeing. So it's pretty powerful to see how important that can be for your business, for your brand, to have those pages, whether you've got 10 locations or you've got 400 locations or you have 4,000 locations. So what the next step was to say, okay, We have the pages. We know the mobile traffic is there. It's 25% of their overall organic traffic. What else can we do from a mobile standpoint? And it was really taking the next step of doing a mobile wallet campaign for them. I don't know if anyone's done a mobile wallet campaign. I'm really excited about the opportunities with mobile wallet and what you can do with it. But we looked, this is information that's provided by Forrester and what people want out of a mobile wallet offer or a card, and loyalty programs, rewards, special offers, coupons, a number of things. And these are things, again, that were very important to Shoe Carnival. So we actually started a campaign for them last fall that they wanted to try out. And again, it was on their location pages on your mobile device, being able to bring up the page, see the offer, click on the offer, add it to your mobile wallet, whether you're on an Android or iOS device. And then when you're within 100 meters of one of their stores, you would get that message. You would get the message to say, hey, come on in, save 20% today, or buy one, get one half off, or it's back to school season, a number of things. So for them, it was pretty exciting. The great thing about working with the Shoe Carnival, and they've been a great company to work with, is that they are really willing to try new things. So here's some results. So we ran this test, and this test was just in the Dallas market. We did 10 stores in Dallas, and we ran it over a couple of months in the Dallas market with this particular campaign. And we actually had 3 different campaigns that ran over the course of a couple of months, last September and October. And what we found that of the people, the visitors that came to these mobile pages for Shoe Carnival, that 19% of them were actually installing that, clicking that, of the people that clicked on that offer actually installed it to their mobile wallet. So the other piece of this is from Shoe Carnival, and I was actually at Shoe Carnival a couple of weeks ago because they knew that I was coming here to speak about this. And I said, how was redemption on that? And they're like, well, and they don't want to share everything, but they're like, we had about 10% of those actually that were actually redeemed those. So if you think about Shoe Carnival, and this was just the first campaign that we did in Dallas, but they've got 400 stores, mobile's getting over 100,000 organic visitors a month. Currently, but if you think about 400 stores, and it's easy to do some math here and think about, okay, we've got 100,000 people visiting, 20% of those are clicking on the offer, you get another 2,000 of those are actually redeeming in store. You can see how powerful that mobile offer can actually be. And the great thing about the mobile wallet and why we like it so much is that we can run a campaign. We're actually setting up some campaigns for them right now where we can run into summer. As soon as we get into July, they can actually switch the offer and they can make it back to school. And that's what they want to do. So it's a very exciting opportunity for them. So the last slide really is to talk about the overall program and what we were able to, the takeaways for us in this case study. For them, I think, seeing the kind of traffic that we're able to get from the location pages, a 25 to 1 ROI, 15-day buyback on the program. The nice thing is that we're tied into their analytics, so we're able to see the e-commerce that's happening through the website, through that as people come in to those pages. 51% increase in e-commerce revenue, 44% in online orders, and then 76% overall lift in all organic traffic. And the one piece that's not here is, particularly in retail, you've got a lot of in-store foot traffic. Somebody does that search on their phone. Oh, great, there's a Shoe Carnival that's near me. I'm just going to go to the store and take my family there to try on shoes. So this isn't capturing the fact of all those in-store purchases that are happening. This is just online e-commerce that we're able to track through analytics. So they couldn't be here, but they did say that we could do a mobile offer for this particular show, that for the Austin store. So if you either do a search on your phone for Shoe Carnival, you'll get the Austin store. You can actually go to stores.shoecarnival.com, Austin, and you can actually see the mobile offer on your phone and click on it. And we actually set this location as a hotel as as a location in addition to the store, so you can see how that works. But it's a pretty nice 20% off your entire purchase. So
thanks, Jay.
Not too shabby.
Good tactical stuff there.
Yeah.
So let's sit down in a few minutes for questions. So you mentioned that search and SEO are kind of in the DNA of the company. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about SEO, particularly as things move mobile. You cited some great data there, mobile behavior, searches, how they're growing in mobile. Mobile SEO shares some kind of fundamentals with desktop SEO, of course.
Sure.
But we're also seeing in mobile companies like Google really roll out kind of on a tough love approach, or a double-edged sword.
Sure.
In terms of a lot of different kind of frequent algorithm changes. We have, and other things like accelerated mobile programs or pages, excuse me, and mobile get it and all these things. So what is the challenge when compared to desktop in terms of just helping companies, especially multi-location businesses, be very sharp in their SEO game?
Well, there's one thing I didn't include here, and I wish I had time to cover it. We didn't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
but the one thing that, and I highly recommend this if you haven't used it, but Google Developer Tools, Page Speed Insights, go to that site. You can do a search at Google for Page Speed Insights, and you can actually put in the URL of your business or your page, and you can actually see how fast it runs, not only on desktop, but also mobile, and this is great. So when I was actually at Shoe Carnival, we showed them their actual website, shoecarnival.com, just standard pages, and the scores were like 22 out of 100 for desktop, and maybe 23 or 24 out of 100 for their mobile, for their own website. And they're like, that doesn't seem good. And I'm like, nah, that's not good. That's red. It's not good.
Yeah.
We showed them the scores for their location pages, their store pages, and it was a 79 out of 100 for desktop and 86 out of 100 for mobile. It's extremely important that if you're going to create these pages, and you should be creating these pages for mobile, optimized for mobile, is to check the speed, because Google is looking at that. That is a huge ranking signal for Google, is how fast that page is loading on a mobile device.
Yeah, that's good advice. And also, besides actually like the landing page, optimizing the landing page, in kind of any just SEO or even like paid search strategy, having, as you mentioned, location data accurate is even more pronounced in a mobile use case because of people's immediacy.
Right.
If something's wrong, they're going to move on quickly,
Right.
as opposed to that desktop, perhaps at home, less intent-driven scenario. Would that be a fair statement in terms of just like the impetus for making sure it's correct when people are searching on mobile versus desktop?
Right, and it's why it's so important. And a lot of people think, oh, well, if I do, my distribution, here's all my stores, here's all the data. If we do the distribution once, it's one and done. It's really not like that, because you've got to constantly manage this. One, because as you know, places like Google, people will go in and make edits to your own listing just because, oh, wait, the store was closed when I went there, so I'm going to change the hours. Or duplicate listings will be created. Facebook is really notorious for this, and we just set up an API to manage data through Facebook. Facebook is really notorious where somebody goes to check into a location, they can't find it on when they go to Facebook on their mobile device, they create a new location.
Sure.
So we've got companies that have 3, 4, 5 duplicate listings in Facebook alone for their business,
Right.
because they've got consumers going in there and creating new listings.
Yeah.
So this is why it is an ongoing process. Location data management is ongoing. You have to do it. You have to monitor it, because of the fact that people are out there. They're where somebody's at doing that search, just like you said, Mike, is so critical, because if they can't find you or the information's wrong, they're moving on.
Yeah, you only get one chance to make a first impression, as the saying goes.
Right,
And it's just
absolutely.
more so in mobile. So because you're working with a lot of larger brands, as opposed to SMBs for whom an app strategy might not be prudent, you're talking about brands that want to have branding and apps. So are you also, in addition to kind of mobile landing pages, working with apps and deep linking? And what do you have to say about kind of strategies around doing that?
Right, well, again, Shoe Carnival is a great example of that, because of the fact that they actually have an app. And they were like, hey, we like your location pages that you created for us so much. Can we just incorporate those into...
pull them into the app?
Yeah, pull them into the mobile app, which is so great, because when you're doing these searches, when you're doing spotlight searches on your iOS device particularly, and you start to bring those up, and I do a search for shoe, I don't even have to do a search for Shoe Carnival, but I can do a search for shoe. I can bring up the app, I can bring up pages, I can bring up my history, I can bring up email, all these type of things that are being found now because of the fact that you're getting in sticky in a lot of different places. So again, that's really important, but it's a good thing to think about, because again, like you said, maybe an SMB doesn't have a mobile app, but they can certainly have a mobile presence. They can certainly have a mobile optimized page.
Yep.
So again, it's what they're doing on that page and what kind of content they're providing for somebody that's finding that page.
Yeah. Now, what other differences are you seeing between SMBs and multi-location businesses that are competing at the local level? As you pointed out, a lot of their needs are very similar, but also there are key differences, such as, like, in some cases, who is the buyer? When you're talking about franchise companies, is it at a centralized corporate level? Is it kind of, are they empowering their franchisees to both buy and manage? What are some tactics for this audience in terms of just kind of the actual management of that when you're talking about multi-location as opposed to SMB?
Well, I think it's important. If you have multi-locations, we have a variety of different companies that we work with. We have companies that are franchised. So everything is happening at a local level anyway, where they've got somebody on site that's managing the content, that actually logs into our platform and makes those updates. So understanding that and who that audience is for us from a client standpoint, but also knowing that at corporate, there's a lot of things that they want to do that make sure that happen out there. They want to make sure that they're having a particular content piece, a particular offer that's hitting all these store pages. So, I think there's a lot of communication that happens there. But it's great because, we've actually, been a part of that in our partnerships to say, okay, we can help communicate. We can have webinars, instructional videos for your franchises to work with you so that they can be educated and understand how the process works and why it's so important. Because again, they're so busy running their business, and I think it doesn't matter if you're SMB or if you're a large multi-location business, but it's for them to stop and say, okay, why do we need to do this? You need to keep reminding them over and over and over again. You need to tell them again, and then tell them one more time, because for them, this isn't something they're always thinking about. But if you can bring it back to, and I always say, someone's doing a search, they're looking for your business, they're looking for a physical therapy place, near me. Here's what shows up for it. Is this what you want to have when somebody reaches that page? So again, there's a lot of things that you can do.
Yep. Well, we're gonna have to end there, but thank you, Jay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Next, we're gonna have Charlie back up to the stage to introduce the next case study.